I completely forgot to review this movie as I was meant to review this a long time ago and even reviewed it as a written form on Letterboxd on January 8th. So now I finally get the chance to talk about this movie and just read it from there. So apologies. Veronica is a supernatural horror film about a teen girl who suspects an evil force has entered their apartment after holding a seance at school. Before I get to this review, leave a follow more film content. I remember coming across this on Facebook where I was hearing how people praised it as one of the scariest films of all time. I was pretty aware of the fact that Paco Plaza directed this, who's also the co-director of Wreck, one of the scariest films I've seen personally, so I was curious to check it out. I don't remember what I thought of it other than I thought it was a fine enough film and didn't think I was going to come back to this film. The reason why is that lovely Grim Reaper on TikTok recommended I give this a watch, and since it's been way overdue, it's time for me to revisit Veronica. The performances are pretty solid and no one was slumming it, not even the kids who didn't annoy me at all, which I have to applaud on that one. Its style of filmmaking is better than what you usually see in supernatural horror, as there is some impressive camera work that Paco Plaza showcased. There was a usage of shadows that was impressive to look at that reminded me of the original version of Nosferatu with the famous pose that Max Schreck created in the staircase scene. Another scene involves Veronica writing on the book like she's gathering so much information on her situation that it has a nice effect. The sound effects are effective and are a delight to listen. I think it's cool. While I think the filmmaking is cool and has a fun climax, the rest is not as cool. If you have seen a supernatural horror film during the early 2010s, you have seen this. Sure, it's a cut above them in the filmmaking department, but this feels too tired and has a lot of tropes. Including the old character who was just there to act odd and talk in cryptic terminology that doesn't make the main character's life any better. I literally wonder why the character was even there until I just saw that there's a prequel called Sister Death that was released 6 years after Veronica came out, which was out of my radar. Speaking of the title, I don't know if anyone felt this way, but I find Veronica herself a complete pain in my ass. She was incredibly obnoxious about the mistakes she made, and when she was tasked to protect her younger siblings, she just made it worse for them where I'm struggling to care about her. I understand why she made it happen due to wanting to contact the dead to get closure on her part. However, the movie struggles to make her empathetic, instead does the inverse, where I find myself caring more about the younger siblings, which is honestly a first for me who doesn't like horror kid characters. She doesn't say the right things to her mom like she's in danger or she could die on that day, and instead pushes her away that she basically wants to be a target herself. I like what the film did in the final act and concept that I would like to see in more supernatural horror films, but I wish it was in service of a better main character to root for instead of wanting someone to have all the bad stuff happening to her. Veronica is a disappointing film that was worse than what I thought was going to be, that left me on a frustrating experience. I give this film a 3 out of 10. If you like this review, leave a like, favorite, and follow more film review content.